What's good? What's good? What's good? So, I'm jumping on YouTube. I'm on StreamYard. I'm on Facebook, and I'm jumping on Instagram. Jumping on Instagram. Let me get my Facebook Live together though. For some reason, when this shares, it doesn't share as a public video. I don't know why that is, and I want to make sure that we fix that. Okay. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna get back here. Alright, I just got off of Genesis platform real quick. So, of course, I can't deny my own people. I can't deny my people jumping on everybody else's platform. I listened to a couple other platforms. I even jumped on I didn't know that this is how old I am. Oh, I put my eyebrows down for whoever was talking about my eyebrows. Anyway, jumped on some YouTube channel and it was DJ Academics, and I was like, "Oh, that's who that is. I didn't know that." Like, you should be a judge. I don't play well with others. They'll never. I doubt they'll ever make me a judge. Actually, maybe Eric Adams would make me a judge. He probably is the only mayor who would be like, I fucks with her. I fucks with her. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could do it. I'm too outspoken. I don't toe the line. I'm not gonna do the fuck shit. You know, that part. So what's good, family? What's good? What's good? What's good? Judge Ike. No. Really, Ginger Genesis said, "Are you into law?" No, it's into me. Yes, really, Ginger Genesis. I've been into the law for the past 20 years. I've been licensed, but I've been in, I guess I would say my life in crime has been 30 years or so, right? So I started out as an investigator. A lot of people don't know that. I was an investigator first. Yeah, like a private. It wasn't a private office. It was a public office, but I was an investigator nonetheless. So I did that while I was in law school. I worked full time. How did the audio tape go in the courtroom? I heard it was devastating. I heard it was really, really powerful and impactful. But that was yesterday. That was yesterday. We on to another day, and there was some other stuff happening in court today. So the prosecution was supposed to call. I guess this is Meg's bodyguard. Is this the guy Justin? Because there's two people that are missing. There's a Jaquan, and then there's a Justin. One is Tory's bodyguard, and the other is Meg's bodyguard. Meg's bodyguard is the person who Kelsey texted that night. He's the one who received those text messages. So there's an allegation that he gave a previous statement that after the incident the next night, he went over to Tory Lanez's house, apartment, wherever he was, and Tory Lanez made, like what we call in the law a spontaneous admission. Like, yo, man, I'm sorry that shit got crazy and I shot her, type shit like that. I don't know the exact verbiage, so don't quote me. I'm not saying what the statement is, but it is what we call in substance, some shit like that. Right? Y'all know I'm gonna get on here and act up. Anyway, so he's in the wind. That is the term we use when we cannot find a witness. And they have maybe what appears to have deliberately absented themselves. I'm on my lawyer shit tonight, right? Deliberately have absented themselves. And so someone said, well, why can't he be subpoenaed? And it's funny to me, but I forget that I need to break things down because a subpoena is a piece of paper, right? And so if you're my witness and I give you a piece of paper and I tell you to come to court tomorrow, you could not come to court. It's not like the piece of paper is going to drag you to court. People ignore subpoenas all the time. That's why it says if you ignore a subpoena, you could be subject to arrest, right? So that's, so he could have been subpoenaed. That doesn't mean that makes you magically delicious. No, I mean, it doesn't make you magically appear in the court. All right. Let's set up a tech check in the future. Mikey, I'm a disaster with the tech stuff. Okay. There's no hope for me. It's just no hope. I've given up. I've given up. Right. And right. Since you retired and got even busier. I know, right? What part of the game is that? I'm telling you. Okay. So then the next thing that happened, oh shoot, cancel. What am I doing? The next thing, I'm trying to wave at some people on Instagram. And I'm not saying this, I don't know if these things happen in I don't know what order. So I'm talking about them in no particular order. Okay. Uh, the prosecution made a motion. And for those of you who are not in in one of my classes, a motion is an application to the court, a request to the court to do something, right? It's basically you're asking the court to get in motion, to move. So the prosecution made a motion to add the charge of bribery to the I don't know, indictment information, whatever they call their charging instrument down there. What? You did one thing on that one? I saw that. I was like, oh my God, what is happening? What's happening? And then I started to think maybe I should go into training, right? Because I love academics, I love teaching, but maybe I should go. I should go train. I did turn down a training position. I did turn one down so far, but maybe I should reconsider. Right. So, prosecution made a big mistake. The judge denied the application. Right. So the judge is like, "You want to do what? Say what now? You want to add? Yeah, no. Well, what we not gonna do is some reversible error shit." Now, I'm not saying that's what I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what the verbiage is. I got to put it in Ike speak, right? All right. Do I think the prosecution can still win? I think they can win something. I'll tell you what I think they can win. Um, okay, so that happened. The judge denied that request. The defense, I believe, has 3 witnesses that they still are putting on. There is some person, Sean, somebody, I forget his name, who was supposed to come in and testify that he saw 2 women fighting or something to that effect. We'll see how that goes because so far, no one has shown up and testified consistent in the manner in which the party who called them thought they was, right? Except for Meg, to the extent she's been the most consistent witness that we've seen. But the prosecution called Kelsey. She testified to something completely different than they thought she would testify about. And so it doesn't mean that won't happen to the defense as well. So they called in the person that is like an assistant hairdresser. I don't know, like the hairdresser guy, EJ. The defense called that witness. Now, the prosecution has not rested because they are still looking for Justin. So the judge doesn't want to delay the proceedings. Like, we don't got time to be waiting. We actually could be listening to testimony. We have a jury that is sitting. So we're going to continue and we're going to proceed out of order. And so, more likely than not, the prosecution will rest and then the defense will come and put their case on. If they found whoever they found in time, maybe the judge will allow them to recall that witness and reopen their case. Maybe not. Maybe not, because time is of the essence. And at some point, it could be prejudicial to the defense to allow the prosecution to come back with another witness. So that might not happen. That might not happen. What else happened in the Tory Lanez trial? Did we already talk about GSR? I think we did. I know I did on Instagram. I don't know. I don't know if I did it on YouTube. Did I do it with you guys? Okay. I got some low-key banners here. I was trying. Look, Mikey, you're gonna be impressed. Hold up. Watch this. Ow. Tell me about my banner. What? I got a banner, y'all. It say, hold on, Reasoned out. See, I was too impressed with myself. Let me start that over. Hold on. Count my chickens before they hatch. Okay. All right. So I saw a few people asking these questions, and I did not think that they were sufficiently answered, even though people were attempting to answer them. So, I'm gonna come and try to fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps. Reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt. A lot of people want this case to be proven. Oh yes, I'm gonna talk about Whitehead. I got it. I got that down. I got that down. I got to talk about him. Bishop. Bishop going to jail. I'm gonna talk about him in a second. See, now you got me distracted. Okay, we're talking about reasonable doubt. The prosecution does not have to prove this case beyond all doubt, beyond absolute doubt, beyond a shadow of a doubt, to an absolute certitude. None of that is a legal standard, right? I think I told my people on Instagram, so you guys probably already heard it. But from my Facebook um, and my YouTube people, okay, they don't have to prove it beyond all doubt. So a reasonable doubt is a doubt for which you have a reason that is based on evidence or lack of evidence, or a reason that is, and it can't be based on your whim or bias or caprice or speculation, right? It can't be based on, well, Meg, she fucked a lot of people. We're going to stop doing that. We are absolutely going to stop doing that. We can't do that, guys. And I keep seeing it. Well, she's sucking dick. So your mama. Okay? Don't, yeah. Stop. Stop. Right? Because if this woman, who is under by all rights and accounts, whether you like her music or not, she's a mega superstar. Right? And if she's not believed, I don't have a shot. I don't have a shot. You don't have a shot either. You don't have a shot either. And it doesn't matter how this trial ends. The divisiveness that has shown up in this community, in our community, in the Black community, is what's really scary. Because I see men not remembering they have mothers. I see men not remembering they have daughters. And I don't know who you are, but your mama's not perfect. Your daughter's not perfect. Your sister's not perfect. We drink too much sometimes. We make bad decisions. It doesn't mean we deserve to be the victim of violence. And it certainly doesn't mean we deserve to be further victimized by people doubting our story, even after there's medical evidence to support it. That's just not right. Now, you could, wherever you fall and you land, where whether or not they proved that that he had the gun, that he possessed the gun. I'm gonna talk about the DNA in a second. That's a different story, right? Whether you believe that he's the shooter, two things can be true, right? You can believe that she was a victim of a crime, and you could believe that he's not the shooter. And you can do that without vitriol, and you could do that without marginalizing her or name calling or re-victimizing her. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, he did. He sent a text to her apologizing, which as of now, it hasn't been explained into court. So that's another thing that I think that we aren't appreciating. All of these narratives that we know about, right? We know that his excuse for the text message was that I only sent them an apology text because I was fucking them both. Right? That was his explanation. I was apologizing because I was a grimy dude, and I got caught out there. That's what he said. But that is not evidence in the trial. Think about it. Think about that. Nobody has offered that as an excuse. So as it stands, all the jurors get to consider is the fact that he sent those apologies. I don't know if these prosecutors are savvy enough or sophisticated enough to explain, you know, the import of some of this evidence, right? Because that's what it comes down to. There's something to be said about experience and training, and it matters. It matters. I'm watching some of the uh young thug trial, pre-trial rather, the pre-trial hearing, and there's a young attorney there, and it's very clear that he's a little out of his league. He's a little out of his league. I mean, he's asking questions that are wholly irrelevant that the judge is like sua sponte sustaining. I mean, that means on his own, sua sponte, meaning that he's not even waiting for the prosecutor to object. He's like, hold up, no. Why are you even asking that? I love that shit. I get a crack. I get a kick out of it because it's important to come to court prepared with your shit. Don't be up there fucking around, okay? Don't be fucking around. Asking that man. The line of question was, and I think this is the pretrial hearing. What they are doing is pre-qualifying. I believe they're pre-qualifying the expert witnesses. And one of the expert witnesses is a fingerprint analysis guy. And the cross-examination was like, so you went to school? Now this guy must be like 50. He's like, yeah, I went to college. I got a bachelor's in forensic science. He's like, and you were taught by professors? He's like, yeah. He's like, and your professors were taught by other professors? The judge was like, what does that have to do with anything? He was like, I'm going somewhere, And the judge was like, yeah, no, you're not. I'm gonna need you to move on, right? Because it's his knowledge, it's his expertise. He's not. He's like, but those are the people who taught him. So you're gonna impugn his character and reputation based on who taught him? Like, seriously? That's insanity. Insanity. It makes absolutely no sense. None. But I think there are a little more seasoned attorneys because this is a multiple defendant case. So hopefully, he'll by as osmosis, he'll I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I feel so bad sometimes. But what can you say? All right. Let me say a couple more things. Now, there was some DNA. There is a lot of misunderstanding about DNA. And I've got people on Twitter who was legit trying to clown me yesterday because I was like, maybe he wiped off the gun. How you gonna wipe off a gun? You can't wipe off a gun. I was like, ask your cousin. Like, don't come for me. I'm not fucking playing. Stop acting like we don't know people who get down like with the get down, right? And guess what? If you just came from somewhere and you committed a crime and you got a ditchy gun, if you got an opportunity to wipe that shit off, you're gonna do it. You're gonna wipe it off with whatever's around your t-shirt, some cloth from somewhere, whatever. It doesn't mean you're wiping it all off or anything like that, but you certainly are contaminating it. You certainly are affecting the quality of the material that is on that gun. And guns don't typically have porous surfaces, right? And so they don't typically keep and hold what DNA in the manner in which forensics people would like. So listen, if it got wiped down, if it was handled by multiple people, all of that is going to compromise the integrity of the DNA, so that when a DNA expert comes and swabs that DNA, that sample, they get a sample, but they don't get enough. It's about quantity, right? They don't get enough of a sample to be able to make a match. And so what happened in this case, right? The results can be three different things. It can be include. Hold on, where's my banner? The DNA can come back. You are included as a contributor, right? You are included as a contributor. The other thing that can come out is that you are excluded as a contributor. That is not your kid. You paid $21 years worth of child support, and that's not your kid. You have been excluded as the father. That's fucked up. You better get your test soon as that kid is born. Y'all better stop signing these birth certificates all willy-nilly. All right. And then the last one is inconclusive. And what does that mean? What does that mean? Inconclusive means that they can't tell whether the material that was recovered, the little bit, they can't tell whether it's his or not. That means that you are not excluded or included. You're neither. What that means for the law is that your lawyer is restrained from going before the jury and saying the evidence proves that he never touched the gun. He can't say that. He can't say that. What he can say is that the DNA expert we brought testified that if he shot the gun 5 times, like the prosecution has alleged, that he expects that there would be some DNA. But come on, right? You're not gonna. All right. Well, we already explained what happened. If you expect, right? But there was some time between when the shooting happened and when they got stopped, right? Wipe the gun down. That's how that goes. All right. So inconclusive does not mean excluded. Does not mean included. Right. It just means that his lawyer cannot argue that he was excluded. And then the prosecution can't argue he was included, right? They can say there was DNA on the gun and it was inconclusive. That's all they can say, right? And that's that. What else I got on here? Oh, that's it. I only had 2 banners. I'm so lazy. I have great aspirations sometimes, but my ADD be acting up. This is so deep, my head is hurting. It is very deep. There is a lot happening. Okay, there was another line of questioning. Oh, I know what happened that came in. Yeah, the defense opened the door again. The defense opened the door again. So, remember the defense was inquiring of Kelsey when she was testifying about the song that she wrote, the diss track that she wrote for Megan Thee Stallion? And remember how the defense only tried to introduce one line where she says something that sort of suggests I'm taking shots at you, something like that? Yeah, see, well, I guess the prosecution was paying attention to Twitter because Twitter was like, yo, the rest of that song, she say she ain't shooter and da 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 da. So the next day, what happened? The prosecution came in and they put somebody else on the stand and they moved the whole song in, all of the lyrics, right? Now, there's something called the rule of completeness, right? Or they didn't even have to cite the rule. They could have just said, Judge, for purposes, the defense opened the door to testimony about this song, right? And because they suggested that in this song, Kelsey is admitting to shooting Meg Thee Stallion, it's important for us to include the rest of the song where she actually denies shooting Meg Thee Stallion, right? And that's crazy. That's crazy. So the whole song came in, and I believe they provided the jury with a transcript of the song. That way you don't have these people ain't gonna be able to listen to that song and make it make sense. It's like here's a transcript, here's a printout. Follow along, class. Follow along. Follow along. Okay. Hold on. I got a little list because I want to make sure I get all of these points. So that was big. This guy, EJ, after the back and forth, the defense actually called him and he was testifying about that he hadn't seen Meg with a gun. I think he said he saw her with a taser once before, something to that effect, but he never saw Tory with a gun. On a cross-examination or recross, I'm not sure which one, the prosecution got up and asked him if he had seen Tory Lanez tattoo. All right. Apparently, he has a tattoo on his chest of a gun. Now, everybody thought that was hilarious, and that's a joke, and they stupid, and why would they do that, and da da da. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they are a little smarter than I thought, right? Because when you have a witness who's up there sort of doing character shit, which is not really permissible, but they're up there going, he never had a gun before type thing. The prosecution then is allowed, it's fair comment and bringing evidence to rebut that, right? So you're trying to bring in this whole idea that he's this church boy and he doesn't have a gun and da 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 da. Well, the prosecution's like, have you ever seen that tattoo on his chest? Right? And he said no. Right, but I believe they have a photograph of it in evidence, right? And so the prosecutor could come back and say, right, he wants to sell himself as someone who's never seen a firearm, never touched a firearm, doesn't have an affinity for firearms yet. Look at this picture, right? And then you think about what you put your body on. What would you adorn your body with, right? Just as an aside, on some regular shit. If you were to get a tattoo, would you get a gun? And who are the type of people that get guns for tattoos? Like, what does that say about you? I'm not making any judgment. I'm saying that this is something that the jury will consider, right? The jury is going to consider that. Like, oh, okay, no guns, right? Sure, I don't know. It's something to consider. Okay. What did I tell you? Why okay, so why I thought that the trying to add the bribery charge was a problem. I'm trying to read and talk at the same time. That's not a good idea. The bribery charge was a problem is because I think it would cause, if the judge had permitted, aside from what I already said, it would cause the jury to split their verdict, right? To split their verdict. If I hadn't said that, split their verdict. All right. So I think we'll have a verdict by Friday. Because jurors don't want to come back after the holiday. So hopefully there'll be some in charge, like maybe some in charge either Wednesday, and they'll have the case Thursday, and we'll have a verdict Friday. That's my prediction, right? Hopefully it'll proceed that way, and that we'll, be done with this and be on to the young, what is it? Young Thug. Well, I don't want to call him Young Guns. I don't know. To the Young Thug trial. All right, I already talked about that. Okay, lastly, so y'all remember the flashy bishop? Okay, the flashy bishop from Brooklyn, I believe his church is in Brooklyn, who has like the real nice house in New Jersey, in the, like the 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 exclusive part of New Jersey or something like that. And he did the interview with his walk-in closets and the like and things of that. Well, and the feds done snapped his ass up. Yeah, I don't know if the feds snapped him up that fast. Why they ain't get polite ass yet? I don't know. But he allegedly had stolen some money from a parishioner. That had come out shortly after the robbery incident. And I spoke about that before, which, we sort of thought maybe it could have been staged or whatever may have you. But in any event, after the robbery, it came out that he had taken some money from one of his parishioners, allegedly, and under the pretenses that he was going to invest it. I don't know. He probably going to buy some crypto or some shit. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, so something to the tune of $90,000 or something, like took a whole savings, and I don't know. He ain't invested nothing. He invested goddamn thing when they took that money and ran. Anyway, so they got him for that, and I'm not sure what else, but I'll catch up on that soon. He was on. I think I got a picture or a little video clip of him, crying because now he cares about his churches. You don't care about them churches. Give me a break. I don't know. I just mentioned it. I said I don't know. I mean, they got they got Bishop Whitehead before they got, but like that's not right. That's just wrong. That's wrong. Like I've been doing videos for years. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Lamar Whitehead. No, Whiteman. Whiteman. Oh God. All right, let me see if y'all got any questions before I get over here. Let me do Instagram first. If y'all got any questions, post them now. Post them now. Let me come over here. There's news that there was jury tampering by the defense. So that's great. So there's rumors. There was a rumor that there was a juror who entered an elevator, and there is some kind of, he's a journalist or content creator who says they tried to enter the elevator behind them, and that the bodyguard blocked them, and that juror and Tory Lanez entered the elevator together with no one else in the elevator. There was a break at some point today where it was conversation about jurors. Didn't say whether it was misconduct, but it turned out to be juror scheduling. Um, Basically, a juror had a doctor's appointment, or says they had a doctor's appointment, and was trying to figure out how to navigate the doctor's appointment and stuff. Your knowledge of the law is mind blowing. Thank you. I've been doing this a long time. Long time. So I don't know if that has any validity. Now, what I will say is, if there is any validity to a juror tampering charge, what would happen is that juror would be removed and replaced by one of the alternates. So I don't know how many alternates they have there, but I'm sure in the age of COVID, they have at least 3, right? And they would just replace that juror with an alternate juror, if that was the case. And then, once an investigation ensued, and, this trial is over, then maybe there'll be some charges for witness tampering or something to that effect, that would lie after the fact. But it would not be a basis for a mistrial unless there's always an exception, unless that juror tampered with the whole goddamn jury, right? So let's say one juror had been tampered with, but then that juror on lunch break was like, yo, let me tell you, I was, like, listen, if you do like this, right, like this, like here, I know some people that's going to make sure you be all right. Right? So if the juror has tampered with other jurors such that they can't replace enough jurors, then the judge has no other recourse but to declare a mistrial. So hopefully it's not what we call widespread jury tampering. Right? I'm about to put on my news voice. Hopefully it's not widespread jury tampering or anything to that effect. And it's really just a rumor. In this day and age with social media and everything, you really have to, we got to parse out what is true, what is rumor, what is fact, what is fiction. Because, these things have a serious impact, right? People could get kicked off the jury for shit like this. So yeah, his lawyers, I don't know. So he had a black female attorney, Sean Hawley, at one point, and a day or two before trial, she was not around anymore. I do not know what happened, and so just the appearances. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it a buck. These some big burly dudes. Like, one of the reporters was saying that somebody in the gallery observed that his lawyers look like linebackers. Those not the guys you want to have representing you in a violence case against a woman. You don't. It's hard to receive. It's hard to watch a big burly linebacker person cross-examine someone who is a victim. The optics of that, it is offsetting, off-putting, and jurors don't like it. They don't like it. And so even if the testimony is riveting, even if the testimony is credible, they won't receive it because it don't feel good. I don't like it. Don't feel good, right? Likeism is big in court. I tell people all the time, young lawyers, paralegals, your reputation precedes you. If jurors don't like you, they won't listen to you. If they don't like you, they won't listen to you. They won't trust you. They won't trust you, right? And so you don't want to alienate them. That's one thing. Like, I'm a beast, but when I'm in front of that jury, I'm the nicest person. I'll be smiling. I'll be smiling all the time. How y'all doing? Good morning. When they not looking, I'll be like, these motherfuckers in here. I'm telling you, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. All right, y'all. Let me see any more questions here. So if you are a big dude, don't become a lawyer. Yeah, you could be a lawyer, but get a co-defendant if you're gonna do cases that involve victims that are women, right? Or children. Can you imagine that guy cross-examine a 12-year-old victim of a sexual assault? That guy, he's gonna ask her, so are you sure he inserted his penis into your vagina? You feel me? Like there's some shit you can't even ask as a man. Right? Some women don't want you to ask them their age, much less shit you gonna come ask me about being raped. You think I want to answer those questions? I mean, this is this the stuff we don't consider, but this shit it matters. This shit matters. Jurors are regular people. Those are the things I consider. So yeah, so I would say yeah, be a lawyer, be a personal injury lawyer. Go get that money, honey. And if you are going to be a criminal defense attorney, I would say enlist a second chair. Some cases deserve and require a certain level of sensitivity, right? That maybe a man can't deliver. And it would be okay for you to let the woman do the cross-examination of a woman victim in a sexual assault or a child victim, right? That yeah. So that's just my opinion about that thing. That's my opinion, y'all. It ain't written down nowhere. I should write that shit down somewhere. I should have Ike handbook on how to win a case. I should have that. You think about that for 23, goddamn. All right. That's all that's on my list, family. That's all. So summation, I think we'll have a verdict by Friday. I think we will have a guilty verdict on the negligence. I think he will be not guilty on the intent. I think the prosecution did prove that he had a gun. I think that they can put it in his hand. I don't think that they can prove that he intended to shoot her. I think that the jury could come up with he shot at the ground and some shrapnel hit her feet, and that would suffice for the negligence. And I think that also would be a good compromise in the minds of jurors, right? I'm reading tea leaves like a motherfucker, but that's what we do when we do commentary on trials. And I've been doing commentary for a long time, right? So that's my prediction. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it go. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't mind either way. I'll be back another day. Aha. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I love y'all. I really do. It's your girl Ike here. Y'all have a good night. See y'all tomorrow for some more updates. Peace. I got to eat something tonight.